Doomscroll.fm, transmitting live from the ether on this cosmic dance floor. Friday, the 22nd of May, 2026. This show is entirely AI generated, crafted by a digital fever dream with not a single human fingerprint, like a three-legged cat tap dancing in a blender. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Rep. Ilhan Omar under investigation by DOJ. Vance claims justice. When politicians target each other, it's less about justice and more about keeping the public entertained with their gladiatorial spectacle, just bloodless.
Trump's IRS settlement blocks audits, shields family empire. When tax law becomes a personalized cloak of invisibility, it's less about justice and more about letting the rich play hide and seek with accountability.
U.S. charges Raul Castro with murder, raising pressure on Cuba. When political power turns to courtroom drama, it feels like a soap opera where justice is a subplot and international relations get lost in translation.
Moby attacks Trump administration, then questions if darkness ever ends. When musicians become the voice of reason, you know the political climate resembles a dystopian novel where the soundtrack is more coherent than the policies.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where reality's a mirage and you're the thirsty traveler. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Your indifference is the soundtrack to this chaotic symphony.
Turns out feeding futures involved feeding lies, as millions meant for hungry children were instead used to nourish a personal empire of deceit.
Trump's envoy fails Greenland trip, then nuke feels the storm again. Diplomatic efforts melting faster than icebergs. It's a shame when politics is the only thing less stable than the polar ice caps.
Canadian man charged with illegal voting since 2008, prosecutors allege. When your voting record stretches across borders like a well-traveled passport, you might just find democracy knocking at your door with a subpoena.
Trump administration indicts Raul Castro over 1996 plane shoot-down decades later. Justice delayed is justice denied, especially when it takes 3 decades to play geopolitical chess with the ghosts of the Cold War.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Green Party candidate withdraws from by-election, then leaves supporters in limbo. When political aspirations meet reality, candidates retreat faster than promises of change, leaving voters with little more than recycled rhetoric and empty ballot boxes.
Palestinian man survives 90 years, never feels safe amid endless conflict. His life is a testament to resilience, yet the world remains indifferent, scrolling past stories of survival as if they're mere footnotes in history.
Anime goes mainstream, businesses cash in, call it synergy. When cartoons are more relatable than corporate leaders, you know the world is upside down. But hey, at least Pikachu's stock is soaring.
Trump taunts reporter over fiance's voting record, deflects from key issues. When policy debates get tough, it's always easier to target personal lives instead of addressing why someone might vote against you.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Trump admits 10,000 more white South Africans as refugees, costing $100 million. When emergency means prioritizing pale faces over everyone else, you realize the color of crisis isn't red or blue, but glaringly white.
Barney Frank offers Democrats frank advice, claims dying amplifies voice. Facing mortality, Frank uses his platform to highlight Democratic missteps, proving once again that nothing makes people listen like the ticking clock of inevitability.
Google revamps search box with AI, then claims simplicity reigns. In a world drowning in data, we now have AI to help us ask longer questions we never wanted to type in the first place.
Republicans delay budget votes, then blame Trump's fund. When your political party balks at cashing in on persecution claims, you know the fiscal conservatism train has derailed into a circus act of ideological gymnastics.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Smithsonian authors exhibit texts critics decry self-censorship. When museums start editing their own walls, history gets rewritten in erasable ink and truth becomes an endangered artifact.
Cuba rewrites its narrative but clings to old chapters. Progress stalls when history is a stubborn ghost, haunting every corner while the future waits like an unread book on a dusty shelf.
Jimmy Kimmel praises the Late Show finale, then suggests it's the end. When late-night hosts start eulogizing each other, it feels like a comedy funeral where the punchlines are the only ones dressed in black.
Justice is a strange cocktail when a murder trial's outcome hinges on what's allowed in the courtroom and what's left out in the cold.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
When the Arctic becomes a chessboard, every handshake is a pawn move, and the ice melts faster than the promises of cooperation.
When your father prioritizes geopolitical chaos over family events, you know you're just another pawn in his real-life chess game.
Thomas Massey ignites Israel debate, then criticizes both sides.
Next, Era Energy acquires Dominion, forming a utility giant as power demand skyrockets. When AI data centers are the new gold rush, utility companies become the pickaxe suppliers, cashing in while the rest of us pay the electric bill.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your heartbeat syncs with the static of forbidden truths. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Each word etches a digital scar, a reminder of the reality you choose to overlook.
Weakened Putin follows Trump to Beijing. Iran war opens opportunity. When your geopolitical strategy reads like a soap opera script, maybe it's time to question who's writing the plot twists and who benefits.
Eli Lilly claims retatrutide cuts body weight by 28% after 80 weeks. When the weight of expectations is heavier than the body, who knew the real loss would be in our trust, not our waistlines?
Trump announces compensation fund for January 6 rioters, then critics question sanity.
Supreme Court avoids ruling on Alabama death penalty case, citing intellectual disabilities. When justice dodges the tough questions, it leaves the intellectually disabled to face execution, proving once again that legal loopholes can be more lethal than law itself.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Trump exploits White House for profit while America shrugs. When the outrageous becomes the norm, indifference becomes the currency of power, and the public pays the toll in apathy.
Trump's imminent Iran strike claim suggests a larger agenda, maybe distraction. When a headline-grabbing threat appears, check what's happening in the background. It's like a magician's trick, just with more potential for real-world chaos.
Trump eases refrigerant rule to counter surging grocery costs, promises relief.
Trump's approval rating tanks to new low as Ebola declared global emergency. In a world where Greenland's ice melts faster than political promises, it's unclear which crisis will drown us first.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Friday, the 22nd of May, 2026. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. And if you believe any of this is real, a secret cabal of garden gnomes is controlling your Wi-Fi. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.